Welcome to an exploration of the fascinating chemistry behind creativity and how our brains enter creative flow states. Creativity is not magic, but a measurable neurochemical process involving specific brain states and chemical messengers. Let's start by understanding what creative flow actually is from a neuroscience perspective. Creative flow is a mental state where you're completely absorbed in creative work, losing track of time and producing your best ideas. This concept was scientifically studied by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi in the 1970s. Flow occurs when challenge level perfectly matches your skill level, creating an optimal zone for creativity. Research shows that during flow states, the brain operates about 5 times more efficiently than normal waking consciousness. Now let's examine dopamine, one of the key chemicals that drives creative flow. You might ask, what exactly is dopamine and how does it influence creativity? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that acts like a chemical messenger, sending signals between brain cells to regulate motivation, reward, and focus. Chemically, dopamine is a simple molecule with the formula C8H11NO2. During creative flow, dopamine levels can increase by 200 to 500% above baseline levels. If we set normal dopamine at 100%, flow states push it to between 200 and 500%. This dopamine surge creates intense focus and dramatically improves our ability to recognize patterns and make creative connections. Let's visualize how dopamine actually moves through the brain during creative thinking. Dopamine travels from the ventral tegmental area through the prefrontal cortex to the nucleus accumbens, creating a reward circuit that reinforces creative behavior. Interestingly, this pathway originally evolved to help us survive by recognizing patterns in our environment, but now it drives creative problem solving. Now let's explore alpha waves, the brain's electrical signature of creative relaxation. What are alpha waves, and why are they so important for creativity? Alpha waves are electrical oscillations in the brain that cycle between 8 and 13 times per second, measured in hertz. The frequency range for alpha waves is 8 to 13 hertz. These waves appear when you're awake but relaxed, like when you're daydreaming or taking a shower. Alpha waves create the perfect brain state for sudden insights and those eureka moments where creative solutions suddenly appear. Let's compare alpha waves with other brainwave patterns to understand what makes them special for creativity. Here we see 4 brainwave types: beta waves for active thinking, alpha for relaxed creativity, theta for deep meditation, and delta for deep sleep. Alpha waves represent the sweet spot between focused beta waves and deeply relaxed theta waves, perfect for creative thinking. Creative flow doesn't depend on just one chemical, but involves a precise cocktail of neurotransmitters working together. Flow involves dopamine for motivation, norepinephrine for focus, endorphins for persistence, and anandamide for lateral thinking. We can represent the flow state as the sum of dopamine, norepinephrine, endorphins, and anandamide working in harmony. Each of these chemicals contributes specific benefits. Dopamine drives motivation, norepinephrine sharpens focus, endorphins reduce pain and fear, while anandamide enables lateral thinking. This brings us to a critical question. Can we scientifically enhance creativity without losing authenticity? Research has identified several approaches that can genuinely enhance creative capacity through scientific understanding. 4 major approaches show consistent results: meditation for alpha waves, exercise for neurochemicals, music for brain synchronization, and optimized environments for sustained focus. Regular meditation practice can increase alpha wave production by 30 to 40%, making it easier to enter creative flow states. The change in alpha wave amplitude for meditation is plus 30 to 40%. Physical exercise has a profound but often overlooked impact on creative brain chemistry. How exactly does moving your body enhance your creative mind? Exercise dramatically increases levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which helps grow new neural connections essential for creative thinking. Exercise leads to increased BDNF, which promotes neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells. Studies show that just 20 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise can boost creative thinking for up to 2 hours afterward. The same exercise session naturally increases dopamine levels by about 200% without any artificial intervention. While we can scientifically enhance creativity, artificial methods like drugs pose serious concerns. Do stimulants and so-called smart drugs really enhance creativity, or do they come with hidden costs? Artificial stimulants may provide short-term creativity boosts, but research shows they often lead to long-term cognitive decline and dependency. These substances work by forcing dopamine release, but over time they deplete the brain's natural dopamine reserves. Each use reduces baseline dopamine levels, meaning tomorrow's natural dopamine is less than today's. In contrast, natural methods like exercise and meditation actually build dopamine capacity without depleting reserves. This raises a deeper philosophical question about creativity and authenticity. If we deliberately change our brain chemistry to be more creative, are the resulting ideas still authentically ours? The enhanced brain is still your brain, and the authentic self includes your capacity to optimize your own neurobiology. Consider this. Coffee drinkers don't typically question whether their caffeine-enhanced ideas are authentically theirs. The key distinction is between sustainable, non-harmful enhancement methods and those that cause long-term damage. We might say authenticity equals your creative intention times the method you use to achieve it. Let's design a practical daily protocol based on the science we've learned. A science-based creative protocol includes morning meditation for alpha waves, pre-work exercise for neurochemicals, 90-minute deep focus blocks, nature breaks for mental restoration, and evening reflection. This protocol is designed to optimize your natural neurochemistry throughout the day without any artificial interventions. Total daily enhancement is the sum of all 5 activities working synergistically. To enhance creativity scientifically, you first need to measure your creative baseline. What metrics can we actually track to measure our creative capacity? You can track metrics like number of ideas generated per session, quality ratings of those ideas, time to first insight, and subjective flow state frequency. A simple creative index equals quality times quantity divided by time, giving you a measurable creativity score. Track these metrics for 2 weeks to establish your baseline before implementing any enhancement protocols. Divergent thinking, the ability to generate multiple solutions, has specific neural signatures. Divergent thinking starts with one central problem and branches out into many possible solutions, like rays from a sun. Interestingly, divergent thinking requires decreased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's critical judgment center. Divergent thinking is inversely proportional to prefrontal cortex activity. Alpha waves help suppress that inner critic temporarily, allowing wild ideas to emerge without premature judgment. Your physical environment dramatically impacts your brain's creative chemistry. 4 key environmental factors boost creativity. Natural light increases serotonin, moderate ambient noise at 70 decibels enhances abstract thinking, temperatures around 21 Celsius optimize cognition, and views of nature restore attention. The optimal ambient noise level for creative work is 70 decibels, about the level of a coffee shop. This moderate noise level increases processing difficulty just enough to engage more abstract, creative thinking without causing distraction. Your creative brain chemistry follows a circadian rhythm throughout the day. Creative capacity follows a wave pattern, typically peaking in mid-morning when cortisol and dopamine are naturally high, dipping in early afternoon, then rising again in early evening. In the morning, analytical creativity peaks when your prefrontal cortex is fresh and dopamine levels are naturally elevated. In the evening, as your prefrontal control relaxes, insight-based creativity often peaks due to reduced inhibition. Morning creativity and evening creativity are qualitatively different, suited for different types of creative work. What you eat directly affects your brain's ability to produce creative neurochemicals. Nutrients like tyrosine, tryptophan, and B vitamins directly support neurotransmitter production, influencing mood and cognitive function.